So, someone sent me a message and said, hey, can you make a purple coffin cake that says goodbye 20s? They wanted something both cute and a little unhinged. Sweet, dramatic, kind of a funeral for their youth. And I was like, wow, that's harsh. I'm in. I started with my go-to chiffon recipe, which I plan to upload in the future, so make sure you hit that bell so you know when it comes out. It's light, fluffy, the best kind of cake if you want height and softness without being too sweet. On each layer of cake, I soak with orange simple syrup and make a border of buttercream filled with an orange Bavarian. Then sprinkle some pomegranates on top for a burst of flavor, making sure it wasn't too thick so the cake would stay stable when stacked. After crumb coating it, I used vanilla buttercream to hold its shape. I needed to have crisp, clean corners, which took a bit of work considering I'll be covering it in fondant and you won't see the buttercream. But this will provide a smooth surface for the fondant, so it had to be done. I went with a deep purple fondant, not quite indigo, because it needed to be pretty, but with a little bite. Kind of like turning 30, really. I wanted to try a technique for applying fondant where instead of draping a sheet over the full cake, I would cut the edge and the top separately. This should have straighter edges and more defined corners, but there will be a seam. That's why it's a good cake to test on. Because of all the piping I'm doing, I'm not worried about any seams showing through. Being the first time I've tried this technique, I had a bit of a learning curve. Like you're supposed to do it upside down. Oh well, I learned the hard way. It still came out amazing. To complement the purple fondant, I used a black buttercream to finish it off. That should really send the message that your 20s are gone and never coming back. With a stencil, I made a nice background. It was much easier than piping it all by hand. Just a few scrapes and I have my background. For the piping, I went full vintage. Think 1950s birthday cake meets a gothic Pinterest board. I used the following tips. This tip number 80 has a wavy line down one side. I pipe it horizontally with the opening facing down and the icing flows back and forth to make ruffles. I did this around the base, almost as if the cake were sitting on fabric. Then directly on top of that, I used French tip number 32 to pipe shells. By starting at the bottom of the cake and working my way up, I can cover up any seams or empty spaces. Next, I used the leaf tip number 70 to make the swags. I was going to add more, but I didn't want to overcrowd it. So I moved on to more shells on top with the French tip. Then I outlined them with the small star tip number 18 on the sides. All this kind of piping looks fancy and takes forever. Worth it though, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Goodbye 20s went on top, and I was so focused on the spacing that I wrote the whole thing a little crooked. Pro tip, always sketch it first, or live dangerously and just wing it like I did. And here's the final cake. Dramatic, slightly unhinged, and exactly what they asked for. Honestly, I'm kind of jealous, because I didn't get to say goodbye to my 20s. They were just suddenly gone. This was such a fun order. It had creativity, flavor, and just the right amount of emotional crisis. Hope they had an amazing 30th birthday. Thanks for watching me make a coffin cake for someone's 30th. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, stick around for more edible chaos. And just keep baking.